Welcome to Subramani. Here I'm going to talk about who gets the money, who gets the inheritance if there is no will. If there is a will, it's fairly obvious it goes to the person mentioned in the will. If the will if there is no will or the person dies intestate, then Hindu Succession Act has a class 1 and a class 2 inheritors, right? So it largely go to the wife and children. If there are no heirs like that, then it will go to his parents, or if there are nobody, it will first go to his father or father's relatives. If they are not there, then it will go to the mother's relatives. What happens in case of a married woman? When a married woman dies, the property will go to her husband and children. But if there is no husband and or husband has already died and there are no children, then it will go to her. They will track the source and give it to her parents, right? So something like that is what will happen. So there is a lot of confusion about who will get what. Then whether you are covered by the Hindu Succession Act or the Special Marriages Act, or if you are a Muslim, right? So then the Waqf board has its own rules and regulation. Again, sect, subsect, all that matters. So you need a good financial advisor who knows what assets you have, whom you are supporting, what you are doing, a lawyer who can draft it and then make a will and that get it nominated and get it registered if you think you are not going to do too many real estate activities after making the will. Otherwise, at least get it nominated, get it notarized. You don't need to get it registered, but I would think if it's a reasonable amount of property, then it's better that you get it registered as well. What happens in case of a nominee and what happens in case of a heir? So very clearly, the nominee is just there to take care of the assets till the assets go off to the heirs, right? That is the person that is the job of the nominee. So that's so if in a nominee versus a person named in the will, it is the will that will prevail. It does not matter whether it's a bank account, saving your demat account, etc. There was some confusion, but that doesn't really matter. And your minor children can get the assets, they can own the assets, but they may not be able to manage it, right? For example, if it is shares, it can be held on their behalf and somebody has to collect the dividend. But today in a demat mode, the children can have a demat account, so the shares can go there. But if it's a property or a business, then it has to be managed by the legal guardian till the children attain majority. But the thing is very clear, whatever it is, making a will is very important, because otherwise for the children to get all those assets without any hassle is not going to be very easy, especially in case of death of both the parents. If there is if the death of a husband and the wife and children are there, at least the wife will be able to collect all the assets and make sure that it is held for the benefit of the children. So there is no escaping. When should you make a will? You should make a will the day you buy a property. So if you buy a property, make a will. If you have minor children, it is going to be very, very crucial. Thank you. Welcome to Subramani. I'm going to talk about NRIs and inheritance, right? So the NRIs who are there, who have all over the world, we now have NRIs. When they come to India, they largely come for, people believe they come for their roots. My friend believes they come for their root canal. So whatever it is, they come to India, but they don't have too much of understanding of Indian laws, except that they hear from their friends and relatives and their own parents that, oh, India is very complicated. India is very complicated as far as inheritance laws go. So ideally, in a situation, the best situation which I have seen is what a friend did was to buy a property in his name and his wife's name, though they were NRIs, and ask his parents to live there. And parents sold off their property and all the money was with the parents for their day-to-day expenses. They didn't need it, but he said, this is the easiest way which I have found, which I will have only financial assets to deal with, because this house anyway will belong to me. I think that's a sensible thing to do. But for somebody who does not want to do that, does not want to stay in a son's house or daughter's house, then for them life could get a little more complicated. But yes, existence of a will is very important, and in case of real estate you have to deal with the local laws, some community laws, some national laws, so you have to deal with all that. So first of all, there is no income tax to be paid on inheritance, and there is no inheritance tax in India. However, if you sell the real estate, then yes, there will be capital gains tax to be paid. So best is to get a lawyer to first of all draft a will properly. If you are a non-resident Indian, you don't have to be here while the will is being drafted, but it is better that you are here. Make sure that the will is properly drafted with your name, PAN number, Aadhaar number, passport number, whatever, to identify you properly. It should not just be Suresh, it should be Suresh Balasubramaniam or whatever, and then the date of birth so and so, and PAN number so and so, Aadhaar number so and so, passport number so and so, whatever you have, identify you properly, because there could be many people by the same name. You don't want somebody to come and create confusion, right? So your name, your parents' name, make sure that the will is properly drafted. Make sure that you understand what is being said there. Make sure that all the nominations and the persons mentioned in the will are the same. I mean, if your parents have mentioned you in the nomination and your sister in the will prevail. So what is important in the will is important, but why create contradictions, right? So don't create contradictions. Make sure that everything is in So make sure that everything is in congruence, the will and the nominations are in congruence. Make sure that you understand the tax implications of doing things. Make sure that you appoint a proper executor for your parents' will, right? So doing all this is very important. It will save you a lot of hassles later on. It may just be 5 lakhs or it may be 5 crores or it may be 50 crores, doesn't matter. But making sure that all their shares are in demat form, making sure that their mutual funds are accessible to you online, making sure that the bank accounts have nomination and it is you, making sure that the nomination and the will are in congruence, making sure that it is properly made, notarized and registered if necessary. I mean, if your parents are in their 80s and you're sure that they're not going to buy any more real estate, why not get the will registered as well, right? Financial assets and all can move very easily, but remember, there is the move to a NRI may be easy, but to a non-citizen may still carry some hassles. So check out all this, talk to an expert. I'm not an expert, I can just tell you that these things are complicated. Make sure that everything is properly mentioned in the will. Make sure that you have a copy of the will with you wherever it is, or you know where you can access it. Make sure all these things happen, otherwise your trips to India just to sort out these things coming from London, New York, wherever, and making sure that all your other siblings also come in at the same time is not going to be very easy. It's going to be very frustrating, and it is not as though NRI say, oh, it's only 1 crore, let me give up. Nobody gives up also. So if you are interested in your parents' property, then do all this. If you are not interested, make sure that everything is given off to somebody else. Otherwise, it's going to still create hassles. You will keep getting dividends. You will not have a bank account to deposit, and you will wonder why is so much money getting wasted. So make sure that you understand all this. You make a proper will and keep it with you. Thank you.